My name is Samuel Apedel. I'm the Senior Manager Public Relations for National Water and Sewerage Corporation. As you are aware, National Water is 100% owned by the government of Uganda, and our assignment is very simple: to provide water and sewerage services to the people of Uganda in the urban areas and areas that have been gazetted to us to serve the people by the government of Uganda. Water quality is at the heart of what we do. Remember, people say water is life. It's a cliche, it seems tired, but if you don't have water, then you're going to have a lot of problems. And people use the water for cooking, they use it to drink, they use it to wash their utensils. So we ensure that the quality of the water that people receive in their homes fits the World Health Organization standards and also the standards of Uganda National Bureau of Standards. As a way of quality assurance, in Kampala alone, we have over 500 sampling points where we test the quality of the water. We test the water in the lake, we test it in the treatment plant, we test it in the pipes. These 500 sampling points are in the pipe network spread across Kampala. However, we also test the water in people's homes to ensure that the water that reaches our customers is fit for human consumption, that it tastes okay, it has no color, and it smells good. Most of the water that we supply in Kampala, the 240 million that we supply to people on a daily basis, is got from Lake Victoria. Nobody manufactures water. We all get water from the environment where it exists. So one of the challenges that we have as a corporation is the poor quality of raw water, the pollution that is happening at the source where we are getting the water. A number of people have built around the lake shores. Now, nature is very, very good at treating and healing itself. When the environment is okay, you will find this vegetation which is around the lake. So when it rains and the water goes there, it doesn't go like storm water and rushes into the lake directly. It percolates and moves around the swamps, and by the time it reaches the water, the solids have sunk and some of these things have been able to. This is natural filtration. But right now the problem is that all of this natural vegetation which was protecting the water bodies has been denuded. People have removed it, so you get things getting into there. Then there is industrial activity, for example. Some of the factories may be engaging in practices that are not necessarily good for the environment. The relevant authority can speak about it, but I'm happy to note that a number of factories now have their own waste management systems. Sometimes people ask questions like, for example, can I drink the water straight from the tap? I can tell you that by the time the water leaves the treatment plant, it's fit for human consumption. It meets the standards of World Health Organization. It also meets the standards of Uganda National Bureau of Standards. However, when the water reaches in your home, every home has got its own plumbing. You have your own plumbing, and then you have storage tanks. Some people never wash these tanks. From the time they built the house, the tank has never been washed. Some of the tanks do not have covers, so dust can get into the tank. Also, sometimes we have seen pictures of birds actually drinking water from those tanks there. Then, for example, disposal of waste at home. If you have an old battery, how do you dispose of the battery? A car battery. If you have dry cells, how do you dispose them of? If you have old laptops and things like that, how do you dispose them of? So the management of rubbish must be done very, very cleverly. If you have pit latrines at home and then you have a well nearby, there are standards that we are told that the pit latrine should be at least 30 meters away from that place. So that can actually happen. Then also, of course, you have other places which can be sources of pollution. For example, washing bays. The cars use petrol and things like that. There is oil. So how do you manage that wastewater? How does it go off? And then also the industries. The industries must have systems for containment of the rubbish and some of the harmful effluent that they might emit. As National Water, for us, of course, because we just treat water and then we manage sewerage, we are able to treat the waste from your kitchen, we're able to treat the waste from your toilet, from the toilet, using the conventional mechanisms. For example, right now we have just finished the construction of a new sewage treatment plant in Bugorobi. This sewage treatment plant in Bugorobi will also be able to generate electricity by use of biogas. But also there is a very important element of this new sewage treatment plant. The water that goes through Nachivubo channel, we will divert that water to the sewage treatment plant and treat it before it goes into the lake. because the Nachivubo channel is heavily polluted because of activities of human beings. There are people who have who release the sewage into the drain. There is also industrial waste, and that was affecting the water intake point at Machishon Bay. So when we did the construction of this plant, we said, okay, while it can receive piped sewerage, but during the dry season when you call the dry flow, when there's not much water, the pollutants in the water are more. So we divert this to the sewage treatment plant in Bugorobi and treat it so that it goes into the lake. By doing this, we are protecting the lake, but also we are helping ourselves so that we don't meet a lot of costs when the water finally reaches the lake and it's extremely dirty. We are very, very serious about meeting the standards, because the water which is in the pipe, it's pressurized. If the pipe is not strong enough, then it will burst. If the pipe bursts, then there can be a problem of cross-contamination from the environment. So you release water, the water is clean, but because if the fittings and the joints are not strong enough, so it's quite important that the people who are manufacturing these things adhere to the standards. Sometimes people try and counterfeit because they want to make cut corners, they want to make abnormal profits. But if you become somebody who supplies materials that are substandard, the users of the materials will know what is happening, and then they will not come and buy from you. People will always go and look for quality things. The point of encouragement is that we must take care of the environment, take care of our water resources, because the water resources can get finished. They can get finished, and also if they are overly polluted, then the cost of treating them becomes very high, and then we are not able to supply water to people at an affordable price. So let's take care of the environment will take care of us.